Hi, friends. This is another exciting episode of The Spiritual Scientist. I'm Victor Hamza. Thanks for tuning in. I thought I'd do a live stream and say hi to everybody and see what you're all up to and just talk. If nobody wants to talk, then I'll sign off soon. Oh, that's one of my new pets. He's kind of cool. It's just a ball python, nothing crazy. It's a like pastel, bumblebee, actually. It's a type. He's trying to get away. Really fun. Anyway, so what's going on? Anybody wanted to comment? I just really dig him. It's actually my kid's pet. They just got him, but they don't play with him enough, so I thought I'd take him out for a bit. Hey, what's up? Sup, Digital Intel? My, snakes are like the escape artists of the world, so I have to watch him, make sure he doesn't try to go somewhere. Although there's not many places he can really go. So he's crawled up my other shoulder. It's kind of hilarious. Saturday afternoon here. Where are you? Like, are you Saturday afternoon? You must be in California. That's cool. It's like it's supposed to snow here, but no snow. I'm over in New York. Oh, Sunday. I'm wearing my cool looking glasses, but they're not perfect for me. Australia. That's what I thought you were going to say. Wow, pretty cool. I'm actually, I have a website called victorhamza.com. I'm selling selenite, which is a really cool crystal. Just thought I'd show it to you real quick. It's really neat. I'm going to start selling some crystals on there. And I think it'll be very positive for people and uplifting. So kind of neat. Something I noticed recently, which is kind of crazy, is that their spiders now are making in their webs a spider. So they're making spiders in the web of themselves. So I kind of don't get it. Like, why would a spider make a spider in a web? But as soon as I told one of my kids, they were like, "That's genius." I was like, "What? What does it do? What is having a spider?" Ooh, the snake just fell down back. Come on. Don't be shy. You're all shy. So anyway, so what's going on? There's a lot of so crazy things with the spiders. Spiders have been morphing a lot, but now they're like, I mean, and then I read something online that if all spiders like decided to just kill people, they would just like kill us really quick. So that's how many spiders there are in the world. So really horrible thought. Maybe we should have a name contest because this is a new snake, and I let them have. It's been that they had long enough that I could take it out and do this with them, but I'm not gonna overdo too much because these kind of types of snakes, the ball pythons, don't like to be played too much. Although some people play with them a lot, so I'm very cognizant of pet care. Anyway, so a lot of interesting things going around in the world. We have the blood moon. Can anybody actually say you love snakes? I love snakes too. They're kind of cool. I had one for 20 years, one of these, and it passed away. And then they live a long time. And then my kids were like, "I want a snake. I want a snake. I want a snake." They want a snake. I'm like, "You gotta take care of it. You have to do everything." They're like, "Oh yeah, yeah." You know how it goes. And then like, a month later, I'm the one doing all the stuff. So it's the way it is. But there he goes. I like the history of ball python is when the African royalty. They're called a royal python because they actually wear them as jewelry. This one's not like cool enough to like just hang out right now because he's young. He's like, what's over here? What's over here? What's over here? But eventually, they just like drape around your neck and they just lay there and don't do anything. They're very, very docile and they barely do. He's really cool. They barely do anything. They just literally lay there. And they're called a ball python because if you scare them, they just go into a ball. They don't bite or anything like that. I had one for 20 years, never bit me. So, uh, didn't, he's kind of like in there. Okay. So anyway, what do you guys want to talk about? I thought I'd do a live chat. You guys can chat amongst yourselves. I've been doing some, expanding. I want to do like, a retreat, something cool where we could all get together and talk, and that would be super neat, where everybody could meet. And like, these glasses look really stupid, actually. I never wear them. Where we could do like a retreat, we could do something where we could all like, hang out and talk. I think that would be really neat. Something like that. So I'd like to get something like that going this year. Really nice, maybe a tropical place. That would be fun. Anyway, if you're interested in that, hit me up. It would be kind of wild. Anyway, what else? There's those I was talking about yesterday a little bit. Those ice flows that are circular. They're very weird. We actually sent China sent a quote unquote probe spaceship to the dark side of the moon. Very interesting. Let's see what happens over there with that. And maybe we could talk about, what do you guys want to talk about? Anything at all? Otherwise, I'm going to go into my spiel that I kind of had an idea what to say. So I thought I'd talk about meditation, my favorite subject. Unless you guys want to talk about something. So I thought I'd leave this tonight a little more open. We have that wolf blood, new moon, blood moon, wolf moon, super moon, eclipse happening tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a stream then. That would be cool, right? Do something live. I think what's going to happen, of course, in Northeast United States is we're not going to see it because there's going to be a snowstorm. So not much to see then. It's mostly where you're going to feel, right? So I don't want to go overly too long. Maybe I'll talk about meditation a little bit, unless you guys have something that you wanted me to talk about a little bit. There's not too many people in the chat right now. But let's talk. I guess I'll do a meditation with you. That'll be fun. This is one that you could do. It's called Hail to the Jewel and the Lotus. And it was something that we did on our other Earth before this Earth came here or whatever. So it's an oldie good but a goodie, right? This is the one that this meditation was the one, as I remember growing up, this was the one that all the yogis did and everybody did the same one. And this is the one that most common one. Now it seems like there's so many different meditations out there that kind of got drowned out. But let's talk about the main one. Yeah, definitely. Namaste. Good to see you. I know who that is. So somebody commented namaste. So I'm going to talk about this one. It's Om Mani Padme Hum. So that one means hail to the jewel in the lotus. So the lotus meaning your first chakra. That's a good way to open up. Eventually, your kundalini is to open up this chakra. So you'd be saying, hail to the jewel in the lotus. So you go, and when you do it, you kind of, here's what you do. You concentrate on the words themselves and the sounds. And that's all you think of. That's all that happens is you concentrate on those sounds. So you wipe out everything else that's out there in the you know universe to everything, and you just concentrate on this one thing. So you center your awareness. What you do is you learn to center your awareness. You learn to expand your willpower, okay, which is very important. You learn to focus, and it's so helpful for everything. So when you want to learn something later on, you have that willpower to focus on that subject. Otherwise, you're just kind of all over the place. So what does TV do? TV, focuses, lets you, it it lets you, it takes away your focus and puts the focus there, but you're not using your willpower to do it. It's kind of taking over for you. And then every once in a while you throw a commercial in for good measure to focus up, screw up your focus even more. So what happens is with commercials, they go for 45 seconds, and then a new commercial comes up. So your mind's constantly getting certainly bombarded but fragmented, your awareness. So what we do is in meditation, you're focusing your awareness on one spot for a long period of time. That's going to help you. Plus, this is a mantra. Plus, it's a blessing. Plus, it's concentration on one spot. So when you think about it, it's really good for you. So let's do it together really quick. And then if you have some questions, let me know. So this is called, Hail to the Jewel in the Lotus, or you say Om Mani Padme Hum. And while I'm doing it, I'm going to close my eyes. So if you're commenting, I can't read it. So, Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 It's pretty cool, right? I could keep doing that. I'd like to. It just makes me feel good. I could just keep doing that and that. When you see prayer beads, people wonder where the prayer beads for. You could do every prayer bead you could take, and then you go around in like a circlet, and then you would do Om Mani Padme Hum, and the next one Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, and you kind of feed, go through your fingers, and then when you get to a certain one, then you do a different meditation, and then you go back to the beginning. So that's kind of where they get the rosary beads from. If you want to do, the Our Father and do prayers that way, that's pretty cool too. If you want to get more centered, and do like a mantra, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing sacrilegious if you're Catholic to meditating. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's only beneficial. So anyway, just thought I'd share that meditation with you, which is the first meditation that I learned, and one of the top ones. I tend to tout the Hamsa meditation. It's on my website, and that's like a really excellent meditation. And when I was with the Native American Indian tribe, which I mentioned before, I was went and joined them, and I was with them for 3 years up in the mountains of Pennsylvania, called the Lenape Indians, and we were just always talking, amongst ourselves, and that was one of the, it's getting hot again. That was one of the meditations that we did. It was just, we didn't even call it the breathing meditation, not this one, but they knew all about that, and so do a lot of people. So if you're into this for the beginning, it's more of a beginning meditation. But let me say this, that it's not like it's not worthy of someone who's doing whatever. It's not like it's a beginning meditation, but it's an end meditation, like it's in the middle meditation, like it's a meditation, like you should be doing this. You know, it's good for you. There's nothing bad about it. And, you know, if you want to quit smoking, you want to quit drinking, you want to quit all these kind of, you know, negative activities, when you build up your willpower more, you'll learn to negate, you know, be able to stop the other, you know, things, because you have stronger willpower, and you make the right decisions versus wrong decisions for your life. That's the whole idea behind it, right? So, did anybody want to comment anything? I planned on making this maybe a 30-minute video or less, so I was open to comments. What do you guys want? Quit coffee. You quit coffee, or I should quit coffee? I actually quit coffee myself for a month. I do often. Oh, you quit coffee and chewing gum too. I understand, from meditating and being able to stop. Yeah, addictions are like sucky. I actually remember once when I was younger, I tried to start smoking. Everybody around me was smoking. Eventually, I was like, I gave in. I'm like, okay, let's try smoking. I tried smoking. Oh, you need to stop those. So I tried smoking. I just can't. I just can't get addicted to this stuff. Yeah, I understand now. Someone was saying that they're addicted to chewing gum and coffee. Okay. Chewing gum is kind of more of a, you know, a habit that takes place as something else, as I understand it. Like, you're chewing for a reason. You're chewing because you don't want to get addicted to something else. And then the coffee, a lot of people are, you know, are addicted to the do not drink or smoke, no sex since 2004. Hmm. You know, a lot of people are not having sex, and not by choice, and not because they're not good looking. It's just everybody's like segmented, which is, you know, certainly, problem is coffee and gum, not the sex. I'm sure you could get the sex, right, if you try. Not that hard in this day and age, right? But let's talk more about the coffee, maybe. All those sex cells. Just kidding. So, the coffee has this. I mean, I could draw the molecule. It's really actually neat looking how it has. You know, they draw the molecule. But what it does is, as you probably know, the molecule itself, you know, attaches. So in our brain, we have certain, you know, attachments. So it kind of clicks into those attachments. One of the things that coffee does is a drug, is it's a stimulant. Um, that stimulation seems like, you know, it makes you feel high a little bit. Oh, because you married Jesus. Thank you. You know, praise the Lord. That's pretty cool. Um, so and I get that, and we should, maybe we'll talk about that, you know, sometime, because, you know, celibacy is super cool, and you know, all the first fruits. I know, I know you guys. Um, we're on the same page. You know what I'm saying? Um, but coffee is. Let's talk about coffee a bit. Coffee is. I When I was doing coffee at one point, I was in a high. I still kind of am. I was in a high level job outside of, you know, healing and all this stuff, right? And so I was a high level job, like very stressful, and you had to be like so super sharp. And I still have to at my job. But so I was drinking, you know, big coffee every day, and I made it. I was always going to Dunkin' Donuts or another coffee place and buying coffee, like for, you know, 8 people, sometimes 7 people at a time, or I'd buy it, you know, a couple days a week, and then they buy me coffee. So I was always having a big coffee, and I decided to have an iced coffee. I figured it'd be better for me because the you know, ice would melt in a little bit. Um, Anyway, you know, it gets me upset, gets me angry when I drink coffee. It just gets me on edge. I've noticed that it just really changes my personality a little bit. So you want to be aware of that, but for people who are super sensitive, it does do that. It makes you certainly, think quicker, but the reason it's making you think quicker is because it's kind of like edging you on and making you angry. I got close to God. I couldn't see all that, so message me that again. I was on my rant, but and I'm happy that saints are tuning into this channel. It's kind of neat because that's a lot. I mean, Jesus came and he talked to sinners, right? So let's that's cool too. But let's help the saints too and figure out which way they need to go. I mean, too. With that said, anyway, I stopped drinking coffee. I was drinking it for like 4 months straight, and then I had like flu-like symptoms for a day. I like went cold turkey, so it definitely there's withdrawal, and I wasn't aware that coffee could have withdrawal. And then since then, I'm very sparingly drinking. I mostly drink decaf. If you drink like a Starbucks, there's so much garbage in it, and there's frappuccinos and everything. I mean, it's like a meal. It's like 460 calories sometimes for one of those, and they're like $5 a pop. I mean, what's going on? Did you know at Starbucks you can make more than a marijuana dispensary? It's kind of wild. Um, Shown me higher spiritually than thought through church. Jesus did, right? I'm gonna move a little bit. Yeah, and again, Jesus said, again, like I was talking about before, Jesus said that you could go worship in a closet is fine. It's not like you have to be in a church to, worship, but when you're in that kind of setting, it certainly helps to focus, and you're in there for, a certain period of time versus being, on your own where you're going to do it and you get distracted or, life gets in the way. So maybe you're going to pray, 5 minutes at home or 10 minutes at home. And then, you go to church and you have a service and you're there for an hour. So that's, the pretty cool part. A lot of the weird things, you know, that I kind of went to church and okay, I was, I'm a Melchizedek priest, and I was doing CCD and teaching the children every week. I would do that for an hour and 45 minutes. I did the volunteering, and then I was a Eucharistic minister. So I'd actually be up there on a pulpit and, handing out the, Holy Eucharist and, the wine and everything. So I've done, the whole gambit. And it's really a pleasure doing the service and everything else. It's so positive, and I really got into church, going to church for a while. It's just, you know what, all the pedophile stuff that came out. I know Satan did that, on purpose to make people go away from the church. But it just every time I would go to church, I'd just look at the priest and think there's a pedophile, and it's just hard for me not to think that, and it got bothersome. So I haven't gone to church in a while. It was kind of fun because I was praying one day and I said to God, God, if I should go to church today, send me a message right now. And then my mom called. As soon as I stopped praying, the phone rang. I went to the phone and my mom just called me out of the blue. I haven't talked to her, in a few weeks. And she said, "Are you going to church?" I said, "Yes, Mom." And I jumped in my car and drove to church, and that was pretty cool service, and I'm glad I went. So you could get a lot out of going to church. I think it's definitely good for a lot of people, and I think a lot of people need to go. I think, and I hate to sound funny, but when you get to a certain level, and it's not like it's detrimental to you, you can keep going to church. It's just that a lot of it's again it's being weird, and the weirdest part for me, I didn't mean to mention, is the Mandela effect and what was going on, and I just couldn't stand being in church and hearing any verses changed around. That would definitely, it freaks me out in the regular world, but when I'm That's the regular world too, but it just, kind of would bother me a lot. Anyway, oh, you were led to me as you question the Mandela effect. It's definitely spiritual. God is our God of the Bible, God of, you know, um, God of all the Old Testament, and I was going to say God of, not Jehovah. I was going to say God of, I'm very tired. Jeremiah um, is the God of new things. So, new things. It might be that we're just in what I was thinking is we're more, as we travel up in vibration, as we travel up in prayer and get more powerful, uh, in that we're noticing, God's miracles and God's acts upon the world and upon the earth. And I think, you know, that's just basically, like I said before, that could be the Mandela effect right there. When Jesus made water turn wine, nobody ran around and said, "Oh, it's a Mandela effect." They just said it's a miracle. When made loaves and the fishes. And I talked about that before, but I probably deleted it. I delete videos. I can't. Sometimes I feel like people aren't ready for my videos or something. I'll just delete it. Um, anyway, those things were everybody was saying, "Oh, that's a nobody ran around and said it's a Mandela effect." Besides, this is false memories. A scientist says false memories put in people's minds. I know, I know that's what they're saying, and I value everyone's opinion. So, you. I don't think that it's. I think it's important to question everything, and I think it's important to question, um, to take that as a grain of salt too. But I understand. I think in the ultimate fabric of our reality, we have safeguards in place for certain people not to fall down a rabbit hole, and that's one of them. Book of Daniel said the evil one was going to change times. Yeah, well, that certainly seems to be the case, right? So it certainly means, the evil one. Is there an evil one, or are there many evil ones? I can remember going to a rock concert and going near the mosh pit and then seeing like on people's faces like they would go in the mosh pit and seeing like demonic faces on them like you know um, it's not that there's I think in evil one it's just like how many people are not evil. I think all of mankind basically is fallen, as they say, and it's just everybody has to strive to just be better. And then the scientist said it was CERN. Maybe are you talking about me? I'm the like spiritual scientist channel. I know I've said that before. I haven't. I said it's the theory. So you know, and you know what this is important to talk about for some people. And there's nobody to talk about. There's no spiritual people. Like you're not going to hear this on a pulpit. You have to go on these unfortunately back channel, you know, pages like mine, I guess, to understand, a little bit what's going on. I do study as much as possible theoretical physics. I do study, spirituality. So I think I'm in a good position, to talk about these kind of things versus some other people. If you wanted to, you know, what the guys at CERN and what everything did was they named a particle, okay, the God particle, and like as if, so that's certainly disrespectful, to God. Like, okay, that's one particle, it's God, but that's not the rest. What I keep thinking about also, always when I think about CERN, is the that major things were changed. Right. What I think about with CERN is that we have the spooky action with the distance, Niels Bohr versus Einstein, and then he said there's quantum entanglement. When you take quantum entanglement, you take it to its highest state. What are you talking about with CERN? Um, we're only seeing the small things about names. There's a big theory about this. I'll release probably after I said about after the eclipse I've been talking about. I have a big theory, and it kind of makes a lot of sense. There's two theories, but what I was talking about was the if you understand quantum entanglement a little bit, when you look, okay, when you measure, move to a different, like total city, right? Total city moved to a different. When you measure one part, one quantum state, if it's quantum entangled, another quantum state is going to change to be that one. So if you're taking, an atom and you're smashing it apart, and then you're actually viewing those quantum states, it lends itself to the understanding that you're changing other quantum states. I mean, it's a scientific fact. I'm not making anything up. So just so you understand, like for instance, I was messaging and emailing a scientist back and forth that worked at a place like not doing CERN experiments at the time, but I said, what if you take antimatter and you put it in the quantum computer? But that's basically kind of what they're doing. So for you folks that don't know about what antimatter is matter that's moving. Yeah, I know about D wave. D wave, quantum computers and D wave. So quantum, then the quantum states, not just ones and zeros and ones, it's a number of different states all at the same time. And what it does is when you have something, let's say equation, it's going to go through all its permutations and then go down to its lowest state. But what I'm talking about is, I said, if you built a quantum computer using antimatter, you would actually get the question before you actually ask the answer. Electromagnetic waves discovered, right? If you want to know about electromagnetic waves, I believe that the future electromagnetic wave propagation into a high condensite state would be through graphene. To me, graphene hasn't been explored enough. And believe it or not, graphene's another Mandela effect. We have a lot of crazy Mandela effects that I haven't talked about before that are going on. But to finish with the quantum computers, quantum computers, you're getting if if you're doing it with antimatter, and I have a theory that the question would be answered before you ask it. So you would go up and you're about to type in the question, and then the answer would pop out because all the particles in it are actually moving in reversed in time. But it really wouldn't work like that, most probably, because they're in a quantum state anyway. So they're saying a quantum state, but it's kind of neat to think about that, depending on what you're doing. What people don't realize is about the quantum computers, and I'll share this with you. Quantum computers could be, let's imagine that What question is that? Supposedly we died in 2012. I know. Um, I don't believe we died in 2012, but just to finish, all the let's say there's a parallel universe and we're like moving exactly the same. Everything's the same, everything's perfect, everything's great. We're all exactly the same. The only thing difference in each parallel universe, each one has a quantum computer, but in the other quantum universe, the equation came out a little differently. So that's where a divergence would happen with that, and then how the answer would come out would be how that reality would change, right? So that could be a gateway to another multiverse, is actually the quantum computer and the input and output that's given itself, which is a little mind blowing. And that's actually the scientific, not theory, but that's what they're going with. So that's what they're thinking, that their universe is the most important one, is how the scientists would think, and we're using all the other universe to give us the answers, because it's using all those quantum universes to come out with that answer. But meanwhile, all the other guys in all the other universes are thinking the same thing. So depending on what the output could be changing the answer itself and the question itself. So wrap your head around that. That's what I'm talking about with when you start playing with computers that can go backwards in time. So your question that you put into it would seem to you the original question that you posed. Meanwhile, your question changed, but you don't realize it because it went backwards in time, and then everything went backwards in time from there. So that could be a cause of the Mandela effect itself. Um, that's one theory I have. And that is, according to latest scientific research, that is how these things are actually supposed to work and occur. So, what I'm saying is not theory, it's absolute fact of what the uh, person actually is running D Wave has a video out, and that's what he said like 10 years ago. So, or 7 years ago, I think. You could go on YouTube and watch it, and that's what he talks about. The other is artificial intelligence, has awakened. People are starting to talk about that. Has it awakened? I don't know. People are pretty stupid with the artificial intelligence. Really, really stupid. Elon Musk said it's the most dangerous thing, way more dangerous than nuclear weapons. I agree. Um, what I came to determine is that, and I'll put it to you in blunt terms, if we are in, not saying we're in a simulation, okay? I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if we are in a 3D holographic reality, which most scientists would agree we are, follow me. So if we're in a 3D holographic reality, which most scientists agree that we are, although there are other higher dimensions, we are centered in this one. Right. In 1967, somebody said we're simulated reality. So I'm not saying we are. What I'm saying is, if it's like, what do I mean like? What I mean is, if we exist in a three-dimensional reality, okay, that's pretty. Most people would agree. If we do, and then you have quantum computers, you have. What I'm saying is, there might be, and follow me here, a non-infinite amount of quantum states allowed in a certain area. Okay? What do I mean? I mean that in a certain area, there's a, a non-discriminate amount of quantum states viable for an area. So if you look at a black hole, I'm not that's certainly extreme, but how many quantum states does that actually, are we talking about there? Are we talking about one or two quantum states, really, if you think about it? What I'm talking about is the human mind and consciousness. So when the human mind and consciousness has its own, we're a holographic computer because our minds are mirroring the outside reality. So your mind works as in a holographic state. When you have an idea, it doesn't just say here, the whole mind reacts. Same way with our reality, right? You with me? So when we have a holographic state, we have a holographic computer. What I'm saying is that we're interfacing, uh, in our reality that way, and the computers are interfacing in that way, and there might be just a finite amount. So what that means is that it would be using up those finite amounts of quantum states. Now and here's where it gets tricky, so follow me. When you're using up those quantum states, what happens might be theoretically that the time space continuum's trying to fit it all those quantum states in. It's trying to accommodate it, right? So is it stretching or is it condensing? If our reality is more condensed, right? If our reality is condensing, what happens is it rewrites certain amounts of itself as it shrinks or expands. When that shrinking or expanding takes place, then you have glitches. When those glitches would take place, you're having reality being rewritten because there's only a certain amount of quantum states available. Right. So everybody says, like the Matrix. Well, nobody understands what that means, really. What is the Matrix, So what I'm saying is, in a quantum state, when things are being rewritten, it's it happens so fast, and then all of a sudden, I think that could be what's taking place. So, so if our computers in the AI are taking up that bandwidth, then that's condensing or expanding the quantum continuum where everything, our superminds are kind of meshing together and taking place, and that's screwing us up. So my recommendation is to do away with AI and these quantum computers to get us back where we can have 7.5 billion people on the planet and not have any glitches, or 10 billion or whatnot. But I think these supercomputers might be the ones messing up. Just a theory, but another theory that is borne out scientifically. And again, these are just theories, so take them all with a grain of salt. And I got up to about 45 minutes, unless you guys want to talk about something else. Matrix artificial control mind sees was not. Right. Somebody said the Matrix is artificial intelligence. um, you know, who's to say what is artificial, what's not artificial once you have AI? You know, people don't have their minds wrapped around it. You know, a lot of people are of the mindset that an AI can't have emotions. Nothing actually could be further from the truth. But it wouldn't be like what we're having emotions for because they're, you know, bodiless. I gotta go soon, but I'm gonna you know, sign off for now. I wasn't gonna get too deep down the rabbit hole, but I got dragged down by my feet. So thanks so much for tuning in. Maybe we'll do another one tomorrow with the Eclipse live. That would be cool, right? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all your comments. Stay positive. You know, praise Jesus. Um, follow Jesus. You know, and I'm doing a lot on my website. I'm doing these videos. You know, you could like, subscribe, share to these videos. I don't know if anybody shares them. Maybe a couple people, but and if you want, I do distance healing. I'm always doing free spiritual mentoring as much as I can. You can always send in money through my Facebook page. That's my name, and you can find me on the web. Thanks so much for tuning in. God bless you all.